because you don't work in any of those sectors doesn't mean your job is safe. A lot of companies now are looking at their staffing needs for the remainder of the year. They're looking to come in profitable. Ultimately, that may mean they're going to have to slash jobs.
Okay, so that one's a myth. The second one, I love this because so many people at this time last year were buying on the dips like crazy. And when the market was down, it was a big old bargain. We don't see those bargain hunters anymore. So is it too late at this point to get into the stock market?
Well, it's never really too late, but you don't just want to get in there blindly. You want to get in on the next big thing. In the 80s, of course, stocks like Walmart, you know, that was a hot one. Coca-Cola, The Gap. In the 90s, it was Cisco and Nortel that led the telecom, the tech boom. You want to get in on the next big hot thing. No one knows for sure what that's going to be, but demographics and technological trends suggest that there could be many of opportunities in the healthcare field. There could also be plenty of opportunities in consumer electronics because we are moving into the digital age. So companies like Sony, Texas Instruments could very well benefit from that trend.
Next up on the list, saving $3 a day will make a difference. That's the one truth in this list because even the next one, economy, we've hit rock bottom. Not necessarily the case, right?
That's right, because consumer spending is basically holding us up, and that accounts to 2/3 of, you know, the whole thing. So
quickly, 401k, I'll never retire, meaning I just can't save enough until I'm 90.
Everybody wanted to retire at age 42 and call it a life. You may actually have to put off some of your retirement plans, but the key is you've got to diversify your portfolio, save the money that you've got.
Okay, Altair, your turn now. On first one on your list is everyone should be invested in the stock market. Not. Just ask me, folks. Just ask me and take a look at my portfolio from last year.
Very good. I like to say short-term goal, short-term investments. You know, CD, money market, etc. Long-term goal, long-term investments, meaning the stock market. People that have 5, 7, 10 years to go should definitely consider investing in the stock market.
And if diversification had fewer syllables, it would be right up there with location, 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 right?
If I could say it 3 times fast, I would.
That's why I'm standing over here. All right, number 3, if I lost 75% on a stock, say last year, which is what I did, I only have to make 75% to earn it all back.
You know, this is great. I have very intelligent people come in and say things like, hey, I'm down 75%. Once I'm up 75%, I'm even. Wrong. If I had $1 and I'm down 75%, I'm down to 25 cents. How long does it take me to get from 25 cents to $1? 300%. Now, the reality is some of those stocks are never coming back. Some are certainly not coming back 300%. Others might.
I have to do these last two really quickly because I'm flat out of time. But the fourth one was the average market return is 12% over the last 30 years. Not.
Well, myth and reality. The average S&P is 12%, but people hear what they want to hear. They hear 12% and they think it means every year. Up 20, down 8 is 12.
Right.
Okay, down 20, up 8 is 12, so be careful.
And the last one, timing the market is almost impossible.
Virtually impossible. Definitely true. I can't do it. Most people can't do it. The idea is to try to be in the market all the time.
So time the market over 20 years.
Over 20 years. Thank you.
Altair Gobo, great to have you. Vera Gibbons, thanks very much. We're flat out of time. I could talk about this forever with you, though. Lester?
A bank robber sees his plan go up in smoke, so he takes a bunch of people hostage and holds police at bay for hours. There were 2 more shark attacks over the weekend, both fatal. We're asking you today, after all these recent attacks, are you more concerned about going into the water? Let us know at newsfront.msnbc.com. Why is Prince Charles surrounded by a couple dozen women in their bras? Newsfront fires back after this.
Tonight at 9 on MSNBC Investigates.
I turned around and saw huge dorsal fins coming right towards me.
Surviving attack from underwater killers.
You stepped into that water, you've entered into a new world.
MSNBC Investigates. Tonight at 9, only on MSNBC.
Introducing a new premium sedan from Hyundai with soft leather, traction control, V6 power, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. All for less than $24,000. The new Hyundai XG300. Fly first class for the price of coach.
Get 0.9% APR financing on the XG300 now.
Here's my dilemma. She needs a fail-safe server to handle a major boost in business. Turns out thousands of online orders for her featherette accessories are pouring in non-stop. People buy this stuff? A totally reliable server ASAP? Yeah, I can figure that out. Why anyone would wear featherettes? That defies explanation.
you can accomplish anything, even ultra-high server availability. Fujitsu, the possibilities are infinite.
Enter a new era of discovery at Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Now you had Jesse Arbogast, which was, in my opinion, it was a lethal shark attack. I mean, that boy is miraculous, literally miraculous.
Just because of the heroics on the shore.
That was close to a deadly attack. The man in the Bahamas could have easily died as well. There were 2 attacks there. And then the boy, obviously, and the man in North Carolina, and the woman, as I mentioned earlier, that was close to
These attacks are more severe.
But we're talking about mid-Atlantic states now. So you have 2 fatalities in mid-Atlantic states where this has never happened probably since 1960.
What in your book, 12 Days of Terror, what occurred? This was New Jersey. We're talking years ago. What happened in that case?
In 1916 in New Jersey, you had 5 shark attacks within 12 days with 4 fatalities. Actually, 1 in 3 days in a creek, which is unheard of. In 1960, we had some serious attacks, no fatalities in New Jersey. But here again, you're seeing possibly at an interval, maybe twice a century, you see attacks, severe attacks in places where they're not supposed to occur.
A couple theories are being tossed around. One are these shark feeding expeditions where they actually try and attract sharks and allow people to take a look. The other theory, especially people in that industry, say it's fishermen on the beach casting out into the surf. Do either of those jibe?
Sure. Whenever you have increased human activity in the waters, you are most likely attracting sharks. Whether it's the human refuse, human fishing, chumming, sure, there's a possibility that you are attracting sharks. I mean, if people are fishing in an area, you don't want to be near their hooks. Because they will be attracting the whole food chain and on up. This whole issue about the shark feeding expeditions is very controversial at this point. What they may be doing, and I'm not saying I'm against it, but what they may be doing is inadvertently relating, sharks may be relating feeding to human beings. Right when those people head out, the captains, they have their engines, or any boat in the region, sharks are actually congregating around these boats, expecting and anticipating feeding. My concern is that the sharks would additionally be relating competition for food with human presence.
And I should point out, a little later on this hour, we're going to actually talk to someone who runs those expeditions to get their take on it. But again, the common advice we keep hearing is be careful early and late. This is the time that they're going to be in the surf.
More likely to be in the surf. It's an increased time for shark feeding, but what you may have had in these 2 issues, and the Jesse Arbogast incident and the 2 incidents we just mentioned were in the early evening, where the larger, more aggressive pelagic, the offshore sharks may come closer into shore at that time expecting to feed, and that's why it's somewhat dangerous. And that's the common sense lesson here. Perhaps this year we should be a bit more vigilant, not have any irrational fear of sharks, don't keep from going in the water or making vacation plans, but perhaps maybe use a little more common sense in the wilderness of the ocean.
Well, we appreciate you staying here. If you can stick around
Sure.
the whole hour, we're going to try to
Sure.
keep tapping your brain as we continue the discussion. Doc, thanks.
More shark attacks have been reported in the United States than any other region in the world. You can log on to MSNBC.com and find out which states within the United States have been hit with the most shark attacks throughout history. You can also find out the different ways that sharks attack and which 3 species of shark are a bigger threat to human beings. And also, when you log on, we want to know if these shark attacks are affecting your vacation plans. Our poll question is this: after seeing the recent stories about shark attacks, are you more concerned about going into the water? You can log on to cable.msnbc.com and give us your answer. And while you're at it, you can also ask a question for our expert, Dr. Richard Furnicola. He's going to be here throughout the hour. Your questions he can answer, other questions as well on the recent shark attacks or any other kind of question you might have. Send us your emails, cable@msnbc.com. And again, we'll read back some of the comments and the questions a little later on.
We're going to talk about a beach in Florida. This one, a popular site for surfers and shark attacks. 20 this year alone. That's almost half the number of attacks reported in the U.S. This is apparently not a new trend. We're going to talk to someone who was attacked there last year. Coming up next.
And believe it or not, some people are still going out of their way for a close encounter with sharks. We're going to show you just how close and why they do this a little later on. Stay with us.
I'm every man.
And every woman, whoever...
It wasn't deep at all. It was probably only 3 or 4 feet. And I kind of went under the water when I came off my board, just hopping off of it. And as soon as I hit the water, the shark hit my hand.
What did it feel like?
It felt like a real sharp, hurtful pain at first. I thought it was the surfboard fin actually going over my hand, but then I realized it was still on there and it was kind of moving my hand around.
And you couldn't lift your hand?
No, I popped up out of the water real quick and saw the dorsal fin of it and the tail fin splashing back and forth.
And then what did you think?
I thought, well, I got a problem here, and
to say the least.
yeah, almost as soon as I came up and saw the shark bouncing back and forth trying to get my hand off, and I realized what was going on, it let go, and then I had to just hurry back to shore.
How long did this whole episode last?
It was probably on my hand for about 3 to 4 seconds.
What did it feel like?
It was real hot and just a real sharp pain, and then of course I bring my hand up and looked at my hand. It was torn up really bad with blood going everywhere.
This was a black-tip shark, about 2 to 3 feet, as I understand. When you actually got a look at it, did you think that your hand was the only thing it was going to attack?
You know, it happened so fast, and it took me a second to realize what was really going on, that I didn't really know what to think. I just, as soon as it let go and I was able to look at my hand, I realized I had all my fingers and was just happy of that. Then the next thought was just trying to get to shore as fast as possible.
You've probably been watching with increased interest than the average guy, as there have been a lot of shark attacks reported in the media of late. What does that do to you when you hear about fatalities and also severe injuries?
It makes me think a lot more about going back into the water. I've kind of made it a personal rule not to go back to the same place where I got bit now. I try and go a little bit more north, a little bit more south of the beach, but I still get back in the water and just try and be more careful.
Did you also do anything in particular to get over the incident you'd been through after it happened?
After it happened, the day after it happened, my girlfriend and I rented Jaws, and then the next day we went to SeaWorld to watch the sharks, just to make sure I wasn't going to have a phobia about sharks anymore.
Did you do that of your own volition, or did someone suggest that actually might be some kind of therapy that would work? Renting Jaws seems to me it would be even more make you even more fearful of the water.
No, I did it on my own accord, just to make sure I wasn't going to have a phobia of sharks anymore, and because I figured it was just something that happens. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and what are the chances it can't happen again now, so I hope.
Can you lift up your hand so I can see it in the camera, see what it looks like now? We saw the original picture. Kind of looks like it's almost back to normal,
yeah,
but the color.
Got scarring here, and then on the back side of it, I don't know how good the definition is, but it's got a bunch of ridges and stuff from the scars that you can kind of see.
I hear the doctor found tips of the shark's teeth in your finger bones.
Yep, there was chips of the bone in the different parts of my hand.
But you're okay now?
Yeah, it's kind of stiff in the mornings, and I feel like an old man. I can tell when it's going to rain because my hand stiffens up, but other than that, it works fine.
It's good that you're here with us, though. Thanks very much, Austin. Thanks for sharing your story and talking to us.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
And again, with the number of severe attacks we've seen, it seems like sharks may be everywhere this summer. Remember this, the huge swarm spotted off Florida just a few weeks ago. So what are these shark sightings doing to tourism? We'll talk to an expert next.
A little later on as well, tourists feeding sharks and watching sharks feeding. You're going to get a first-hand look at what some people say is a very dangerous trend.